We're seeing some of the strongest voices against the voice coming from retired judges, former High Court judges in the case of Terence Cole today, former judge of the New South Wales Appeals Court, of course, the man who led the Cole Royal Commission. He put a submission into the Joint Parliamentary Committee that's looking at the legislation, and in it he wrote, "The voice is critical to the objectives of the Uluru Statement that Aboriginals wish to establish sovereignty over Australian territory, land and water." And then he goes on to say that the Indigenous community also want to establish monetary and other compensation, truth-telling we know, to achieve objectives, to achieve these objectives, he says, it's necessary to split the Australian people permanently into two groups based solely on race, which he says is wrong in principle. Now, what's your take on those comments from Terry Cole?
Well, I think the key word there is permanent. There's no question the Commonwealth Parliament has the power and has had the power since the 1960 referendum to do what it likes in relation to Aboriginal affairs. It can pass laws in favour of Aboriginals, it can pass laws that impact negatively on them, it can do what it likes. So the key phrase in former Commissioner Cole's statement is permanent. Why should something be entrenched permanently? Why shouldn't the Parliament have the opportunity every generation to revisit the way in which it deals with First Nations people? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to labour or to require any future generation to be saddled with whatever the current zeitgeist is in relation to policies concerning Aboriginal affairs. They should change over time as the composition of the Australian electorate changes and is reflected in the composition of the Parliament. And that's what's happened over the last 50 years. The policies towards Aboriginals have changed, and the Parliament should be free to do that, to take whatever steps it needs to take without, and then be held responsible to it by the electors, without some supervening High Court telling the Parliament what it can or can't do because there's a constitutionally entrenched voice. It just doesn't make any sense when the Commonwealth has the power already to do whatever it wants.
A lot of common sense there, Stuart Wood. We don't hear it enough. Thank you for your time.